My name is Porkchop Express, and these are my top 5 tips for every free-to-play player coming into Gods Unchained. Now, the first tip that I want to give to everybody who's starting out is knowing where to get information. The best 3 places to get a hold of information currently is, first and foremost, gudex.com. Gudex.com is your one-stop shop for everything you're going to need to know in terms of deck building, what's currently killing it in the meta, what you can make free to play, what's cheap, what's not cheap, what legendaries are going to kill it. So make sure you get onto GUdex. They'll also tell you all of your stats, how well you're doing in arena rankings, how well you're doing with certain decks. So absolutely keep an eye on GUdex. The second place I want to recommend is the official GU Discord. Now, the community there are some of the nicest people you will ever meet. The community is so generous. They are so willing to help anyone, new or old, at the game. Don't hesitate with questions. Don't hesitate to join. Flood them with all of your concerns and your queries. Everyone there is super keen to teach you how to play this game. And the third place, shameless plug, feel free to drop into my Twitch, which is twitch.tv/porkchopespresso. It'll be down in the description. The second thing that you're going to need to know is, as a free-to-play player, if you've played a card game before, you're going to want to know how to get cards. Now, to begin with, it's pretty easy. You just level up your account. As you can see up there, I'm currently level 37. When you hit level 25, you get a free legendary. Every 25 levels, you get a free legendary. And then in between all those other levels, you'll pick up some epic and rarity packs. Along with opening packs, there are other great ways to get a hold of the cards you're going to need to build your dream deck. One of the biggest things is the market. There's a market that you can enter into, and you can buy cards for Ethereum. Now, you may have seen in that drop down menu there was also sell. You can sell your cards that you unpack that you may not want or you think might sell well on the in-game market for real money. You own these cards, so you sell them if you want to get rid of them. But definitely keep an eye out on the market. See what's fetching a really high price. If you unpack a really good legendary, you may just want to put it on the market so that you can buy some other more important cards. You can also use your flux. So as you can see here, the yellow currency that I've got at the top there is flux. Now, flux is earned by playing ranked. As you get wins with different gods, you can unlock another god to play with, and you go around the circle and you earn more flux. Same with the standard currency in the game, or as we call it, stars. There is always a star store available and a new card in the star store, so absolutely check that out. Stars is it's quite an easy currency to get a hold of. Even if you're not winning many games, you still get rewarded stars for just playing. The third thing that I want to give as a piece of advice for new players is your play style. If you have like me, a playstyle that's quite slow and you like to control the board, then you may want to pick a god that best suits that playstyle. For me, I have currently a deception deck that I've built that is built around control. It's got a lot of removal. It's got a lot of big frontline minions that are going to stop people from attacking my god and also allow me to take control of the board. So you want to get a feel for your play style, pick a god and build a deck that's going to help you with that play style. It would be inefficient to pick the deception god if you like to play a totem based play style, whereas if you were to pick the nature deck or the nature god, her cards and her spells and her playstyle is much more suited to a totem deck. So Definitely keep an eye out for some of the decks that are on GU decks as well. Have a look at some of the other guys that are playing in the Discord or on Twitch. We're all playing most days of the week. See if there's a deck out there that you like the look of, and give it a go. The fourth piece of advice that I want to give is learning how to build your account efficiently. The market that I mentioned earlier is a really great way to build your account early with some cards that are going to give you an advantage. As a free-to-play player, you have to be efficient in how you are able to build your account and get a hold of cards and get a hold of certain decks to be able to take on the higher ranked opponents. With this Deception deck that I've been using, I was able to make it into Solar Gold, which is the third highest rank. I'll have the rankings right here for you to have a look at. There are people on the Discord who have made it to Mythic very early on, completely free to play. So you can build your account, get a hold of all the cards you need in a really efficient way, starting by learning how to use the market, learning how to use Flux, and learning how to use what little you have to take things as far as you can. I don't have at the moment the best cards. I only think I have about 2 legendaries and a couple of epics, but I have been able to make it quite high up the rankings, just knowing what kind of decks I'm going to come up against, being able to fine-tune my deck for certain meta decks that come up, and being able to make a lot out of a little. And my fifth point, which is something that myself and a lot of other players are super trying to drill into new players, which is learning how to use your Sanctum. Now, this game plays mostly, I would say, like Hearthstone than it does like any other card game out there. So if you have experience in Hearthstone, you should be able to pick this game up pretty quickly. There's not too many differences in terms of the concepts and the abilities and the general flow of a match. But the biggest thing that this game has that Hearthstone won't have is the Sanctum. So it's something else that you've got to keep an eye on. Now, I won't dive into a game and give you a really in detail analysis of it, but I am going to show you here what it looks like, and I'm going to teach you how it works. So the way that the Sanctum works is it rewards you for plays that net you positive. And what I mean by that is if you trade a minion and your creature survives and the enemy creature doesn't, you earn favor. Now, once you get to a certain amount of favor, you can spend that favor on one of the 3 cards in the Sanctum. Now, there are a couple of ways of getting favor. The other ways are simply killing minions with spells or god abilities, or dealing damage to the enemy god straight to the face. Depending on your playstyle will depend on which one you'll potentially be getting the most favor from. Myself, playing a control deck, it's usually from trading minions and here and there going face. And the least amount would be my spell rewards. But if you're playing maybe a magic deck, you'll be getting a lot from all of the kills that you'll get from the spells. So it's important to keep an eye on your favor and an eye on what is in the Sanctum for a couple of reasons. The first reason is, as a free-to-play player, that is your best ticket to getting some cards that you may not have access to currently. Inside the Sanctum, there are almost always useful cards. They have 3 cards, all varying in price. There'll be 1 cheap card, there'll be 1 slightly more expensive card, and then there'll be 1 definitely expensive card. And they can all have different value depending on where you are in the game. Some of them are defensive cards, some of them are removal cards, some of them are cards to just threaten your opponent with. Depending on what you may need at the time, depends on what you might save up for. I know that in my week or so of playing this game, the Sanctum has won me many matches because there's been a card in there that has ended up becoming my win condition. Or, better yet, is the enemy's win condition, and I have taken it for myself. So what you want to make sure you do is keep an eye on what deck they're playing, keep an eye on what playstyle they're playing, maybe what god ability they've taken on, and you want to do your best to see if maybe you need a card for yourself or they need a card and you want to stop them from getting it. There are so many more things that I want to say about this game, and I want to tell everyone about this game, but I think those are the best 5 tips that I can give just for new free-to-play players. If you want to learn more, as I said, please get along to the Discords, please get along to GU Decks, and when you open the Immutable browser, have a look down the side here and read some of these updates and news articles. I'm sure you'll get a lot of awesome information. Once again, this has been Porkchop Espresso. I hope all of this information has helped. Stop by the Twitch and Discord and make sure you say hi.